All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Kristin with Mobile Mama Chiropractic. And today on the Doula Diaries, we have Madi Yates with, I was going to say GVL Doula Besties, which is what it is, but Greenville Doula Besties. You see her on Instagram as GVL Doula Besties. And that is, whenever I think of Madi, that's GVL Doula Besties. So go ahead and tell us all about your business.
Oh, thanks. So, first of all, thank you for putting this together. I feel like it's such a great resource for our local moms. I am a birth and postpartum doula, placenta specialist, childbirth educator. Um, and yes, like you said, I own GVL Doula Besties, and I've been serving the upstate for the last 2 years.
Awesome. So you said birth, postpartum, and you do placentas also?
Mhm.
Nice. I did not know that.
Yeah, I actually certified with Sunflower Births, Lakeisha. She's
Okay.
wonderful.
Awesome. I did not know that you did that. I know a handful of doulas do, but that's good to know because there's so many benefits to having your placenta encapsulated.
There are. And it's still being researched. I'd be really interested to see what more research can be done because there's not a lot out there about placenta encapsulation. Most of what we have is anecdotal.
Yeah, that's completely true. I had a mom that I was taking care of who a lot of people would have not taken her for like being somebody that was like farmy or like knowing things like that. But that was one of the first things she said to me. She was like, "We're the only mammal that doesn't eat our placenta." And I was like,
Yeah.
"You're telling me." So it's up to, I guess, each mom to decide what they think or if they want to try it. But that's an awesome
Yeah.
service. I'm glad that you offer that. It's convenient because you're their doula, you're there at the birth, and you're
Yep.
able to do that. Do you do it in their home or do you take it to your house and do it with your stuff?
I do it at my home. So I'll transport it for them safely, prepare it. I have the bloodborne pathogens certification, all that stuff. And yeah, it actually started because of my clients.
Okay.
I didn't intend to become a placenta specialist. And then I had two clients in the same month that they were like, hey, we really want to encapsulate our placentas. Do you do that? And I was like, I don't, but let me get this certification for you because I realize it is so much easier if I'm already there to go home from the same location, and just to continue that care. And they already know and trust me. So,
Nice.
yeah, that's kind of how that came to be.
Awesome. So if you had a mom, or like even if it wasn't your mom, if there was a mom that gave birth in a hospital and they wanted their placenta encapsulated, would you be able to go pick it up and do that for them?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
awesome. Cool. Good to know. I appreciate that. All right, tell us why you became a doula.
Oh, I love this story. So, my mom is actually the inspiration of me becoming a doula. She had really scary births, and I was her first. And I was an emergency cesarean baby.
Okay.
And growing up, I saw my mom's scar. I heard about her birth experiences, and I was very, very invested in that process because I knew I wanted to be a mom one day. And I was like, okay, well, this is really scary, but I need to know everything I can. And so I jumped in head first in my life, just wanting to know everything I could about my body, about my mind, all the things. And then in college, I studied exercise and wellness.
Okay.
And they had an elective, and it was called a women's health course, and they covered all kind of things. And that was the first time I really was like, oh, wow, there is so much we can learn and do for our bodies. Because before, I had always been told that we don't have any control. And to some extent, we don't, but we can influence better outcomes with education and understanding and more autonomy in the process. And that is the empowerment that I love to pass on to women. And that's why I became a doula, because even 20, 30 years after my mother gave birth, I've been going through my doula training side by side with her. And she's finding healing and understanding even that far past
That's
her
beautiful.
own birth experience. I feel like birth is so impactful and we need to handle it with great care. So that's really like how I got started. And then after I really became a doula, it just felt like I finally was doing what I was made to do. And it just kind of came so naturally. And I've been so blessed to serve the community I grew up in because I'm from Greenville.
Okay, beautiful. I love that. Greenville is so much fun, and Anna referred to it yesterday as a birth hub, which is totally true. That's
It
part
is.
part of why I love it here. If you want to have um, any range of birth, that's an option here. But a lot of places don't have the option for like your crunchy natural home birth. And like whether you want to do that or be in the hospital and it be natural or a planned C-section, all of that is fantastic. But
Yeah.
the fact that you have that range of options, it's not like that in a lot of cities where you have like one choice. Or I've seen a lot of moms and like mom groups from around the country being like, I want to become a doula. How do I do this? And I'm like, I live in such a cool area because that is not an inaccessible resource here. It's readily available.
Yeah, I'm really grateful for this little birth hub and for all the women we get to interact with, including yourself. It's been so fun. All the women involved in the taking care of pregnancy, birth, and beyond.
Yes. It's a great time. All right, we talked about this a little bit earlier with the placenta encapsulation, but what specialty or additional services do you offer?
Placenta encapsulation. I also have a childbirth education series that I'm starting this September,
Okay.
that I will be doing more regularly. It's called Birth Besties. It's a 6-week class, and this next series starts September 12th every
Okay.
week. Additional services. I also, because of my background in exercise and wellness, I've been working on a certification in pregnancy and postpartum corrective exercise. So I love helping with postpartum recovery as well, breathing exercises, gentle movements to add in the healing and repairing process. Yeah.
I love that. I'm a huge movement person, advocate of like there's different forms. Like you don't have to go to the weight and go to the gym and pick up weights if that's not what you want to do. There's so many ways to have movement in your life, and that is very healing and helps maintain your body in so many ways that people know the benefits, but having another resource where you've been through training and know what those first steps are is really helpful.
Yeah, it can be really intimidating. And that's another reason I jumped into exercise and wellness. It was something that seemed unattainable except inside a gym. And then I went and learned all the stuff I needed to. And my favorite phrase is every movement counts.
Nice.
When I started viewing my life that way, whether I'm walking across the house to fold laundry, or I'm bending over to get something, or I really have just started giving myself more grace. Like I don't have to have specific exercise time, but there are certain movements we do every day that help with our overall wellness and body health. So, yeah.
That's awesome. And that's so true because every movement does count. It's better than sitting there being a couch potato. That's not what we were meant to do. Movement helps our joints and keeps us feeling better and allows us to do all the things that we want to do. And then that mindset aspect too of looking at things as I don't have to be like doing this thing for it to be right and for it to like get the result that I want. When you have that mindset of like these day-to-day things that I'm doing are good for me, then that just adds to the benefit for your body.
It really does.
All right, why do you love doing what you do?
Oh, that's a really good question. I have a deep love of women and our experience. Um, our bodies are so amazing, and being able to help women find that power within themselves and to encourage them to have autonomy, and it's really really beautiful, especially as someone who grew up fearing this experience of transition from going through birth to motherhood, and now being someone who feels empowered by the education and the knowledge I've received. It's just it The reason I continue to do this expounds with each woman I meet because
Yeah.
they each have their own reason of things they're bringing to the table, fears or questions. And when they come out the other side, seeing that beautiful transformation just excites me to continue to help other women have that same experience.
That's beautiful.
Thanks.
All right, tell us something fun about you.
Ooh, I love travel and I'm very crafty.
Okay.
So I've traveled most of the US and some parts of Canada, probably about 44 states. Um,
Nice.
And so I love to visit new places, go hiking. I'm definitely someone who loves to like travel on the weekends, though when I'm on call, I'm around town. But I love doing all those things because I feel like when your environment's constantly changing, um, there's lots of things to learn about yourself and the world around you. So I
Mhm.
love that. And I'm very crafty. So I love doing like hand embroidery. I do that for some
Okay.
of my clients. I'll like embroider the baby's name
Aw.
and put like a little character. I had one client, she named her baby Joey, and every thing in the kids' room was little kangaroos.
That's so
And I
cute.
was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to embroider a little kangaroo
That's
on
so
his.
cute. Oh my gosh.
Yes, I know. I was like, that's genius. It's absolutely adorable.
Yes.
So yeah, I love to keep my hands busy and my mind busy.
Nice. That's awesome. I worked in finance before I became a chiropractor, and the
Right.
founder of New York Life always told us that you change by the places you go, the people you meet, and the books you read. So I'm pretty sure most people would agree with that. People love to travel and experience new cultures and just explore different towns and see how people live. And it gives you insight outside of like our little bubble here, even though it's nice to come back to our home.
It really does, especially so I grew up here, but I ended up living in New York, Idaho, Utah, Seattle, before moving back here, and having just that array of different cultures and experiences, I feel like really makes me grateful for where I grew up and widens my experience,
Yeah,
and the kind of people that we I can connect with is much much broader now. Um,
absolutely.
and I think that also helps, as a professional, I work with women from all backgrounds and we click. Each one of us has our own type of connection, and it's just from that crazy background that I'm like, oh, I can connect with you here, and oh, you really like this, and I like this, and
Yeah,
I mean, doula besties, you got to be friends with each other.
absolutely. You want to be friends with somebody who's going to be there when you're in labor and having your baby and being supported postpartum. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so vulnerable. I mean, anyone you invite into that space, you've got to feel some type of friendship or connection with to feel that your walls come down and to feel safety.
So true. So true. What advice do you have for our audience?
Uh, be kind to yourself. There's a lot of things in pregnancy and a lot of advice that people give, but I really feel like you need to listen to yourself and what you really feel like you need, because truly, in a perfect world, we would have all the professionals, all of the resources, all of the education. But that can be really overwhelming to consume and participate in all of that in a short 9 months. So find what works for you and be confident in that. Trust your body and prepare your mind. That's like the mind body connection in birth is so important. If you're going to prioritize anything, take care of your mind and work about on yourself and love yourself.
That's beautiful.
Thanks.
All right. What events or offers do you have for our listeners, or how can they connect with you?
So I have a couple events coming up. I do run a quarterly birth circle with Chelsea Rainey.
Okay. I love
Healing
her.
China. Yeah, she's great. Um, our next one's going to be in October. And then I also have a postpartum belly dancing class coming up
What?
with one of my previous clients. She is awesome, and she is a belly dance instructor. And she had her kiddo with me this year, and she really felt this need to create a class just for postpartum moms who are right in the thick of it, just like she is.
Okay.
So I'll be posting that soon with more
That's so
details.
fun.
Yeah, it's fun to kind of like move your body and just embrace yourself.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I told you about the childbirth education series that's coming up. But really, any events, any resources, even just to like chat, I love talking with people. Find me on Instagram at GVL Doula Besties, and then DM me. I'm pretty good at getting back to people on Instagram. Feel free to check out my website. It's doulabesties.com.
Okay.
And I think those are really the best ways to reach me. From there, I have, my services, contact forms, but I'll walk you through the process. Just send me a message and I'll make everything else easier. Yeah.
Perfect. And I'll connect with you on Instagram or on a chat after to get the links if you have links for some of those. I know you said you're going to post the belly dancing class soon, but to get specific links for the link to your childbirth classes and the birth circle and making sure it's easy and accessible to directly click on the link. And I'll get all of that posted in the comments.
Thanks so much. And thank you for doing this, Kristin.
You're so welcome. I'm so glad to have you. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks.
Talk to you later. Bye.